Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge, and is Bruno Fernandes leaving Manchester United? Breaking news suggests that he's considering it, that Al Hilal are confident and they are ready to offer huge wages, but also a huge fee for Manchester United. Obviously, I think the comments section, whether you're watching live or not, is going to be full of whether you do it or whether you wouldn't do it. I find this... look, life is about circumstance and that changes opinions. Before Wednesday, when we spoke about this over a week ago, I said absolutely not for multiple reasons. One, if you do this now, what does it do to the European football scene? Because every player could be bought that's decent, and Bruno's our player of the year going to Saudi. Two, you shouldn't be letting your captain go, your best player go. How does that impact the team? But that was before Wednesday. And I think after Wednesday, and there is one big thing here that I think everybody is missing, and it's nothing to do with Bruno, and it's nothing to do with us, and it's nothing to do with the club, and it's the biggest factor, and it's nothing to do with Saudi as well. And I'll tell you what that is in a moment, because it's Ruben Amorim. But... hello everybody, today's clip is supported by Sleeper. Before we dive in, let me tell you a bit more about Sleeper. This app is making serious waves. It was the #1 downloaded sports app in the US during the NFL season, even beating heavyweights such as ESPN and Yahoo. Sleeper isn't just popular, it's because they truly deliver the best fantasy experience. You get deeper customization, more league options, and all the bells and whistles that make managing your fantasy team a blast. But that's not all. Sleeper is growing a fantastic community with several million people using it daily for their sports fix. Sleeper has a broad appeal and is genuinely built for everyone. So, if you're looking to up your fantasy game, make sure to check out Sleeper by clicking the link in the video description. Trust me, you won't regret it. I think losing the game on Wednesday changes everything. And I've got to say as well, since the story came in about Saudi, Bruno's been terrible. If you pinpoint the moment the story broke, every game since then, he has been terrible. He was terrible against Chelsea, terrible the game before that, and terrible in the final. So I can't understand why he was so bad in a final where if he wins that game, he doesn't need to leave. I thought he was shocking in that final, and maybe he has had his head turned because it is all about margins. But honestly, before the final, and if we'd won the final, I wouldn't have done this deal. Now, knowing what Liverpool have just done with Wirtz and Frimpong, and knowing what Arsenal are probably going to do with Gyökeres, we are so far behind, that if we don't do something this summer, we will be further and further behind to a point where it's impossible to come back just because we're Manchester United. You can't use that. It doesn't give you any money in the bank. And I think this is a really big decision to make. But let me read the news. It's coming in from Chris Wheeler. Breaking, Bruno Fernandes has been set a deadline of next week to decide if he wants to leave and sign a 200 million deal with Al Hilal. Al Hilal want an answer by the end of May and are increasingly hopeful he will be persuaded. Although Bruno Fernandes is happy at United, the prospect of a season out of Europe with a 25% wage reduction and no guarantees that the club can progress quickly under Amorim may convince him to accept the mega money deal. Al Hilal are ready to offer Man United a transfer fee of around 100 million, and Bruno's wages could be in excess of 1 million a week. 1.25 million a week, 100 million pounds for Manchester United. Look, it's for me, sadly, I would do it. I would do it. And the reason I would do it is because you've got to wake up to the enormity of what's happening. It's like the Titanic hitting the iceberg, right? This boat's going to sink. It's going to sink. Man the lifeboats and rescue what you can, because this boat is sinking. And I think some people are ignoring the fact that the boat's taking water on. I think some people are ignoring what has actually happened at this football club. And they're thinking, you don't sell your best players. You can't do that. And I'm like, the club is sinking. We need to do something ridiculous to try and get some money into this football club to rebuild. Bruno Fernandes on his own, put it like this. If we keep Bruno and we have a shit summer transfer window, will we be in the top 4? Probably not. If we sell Bruno and buy 5 or 6 players, will we be in the top 4? Probably not. Why do you want to do it then? Because the season after we might be, but the season after that, Bruno's 33. So I'm sort of like, if we're going to do this, you've got to look at what's the better long-term plan. Because the short-term's not good either way. This is the way I'm looking at it. If we keep Bruno, I don't think we get back in the top 4. If we sell him and bring players in, I don't think we get back in the top 4. But the season after we might. The longer-term plan is better to take that money and spend it wisely. The big concern is you sell Bruno, how much of that £100 million goes to Ruben Amorim? And also, the big thing, before I get into some of your comments is, and this has to be above selfish needs. You know, you might be Ricky FC, get it done, I'm telling you now. You might be like me going, I don't really want to do it, but look at the state of the football club, we'll have to do it. I also think if you keep him, and he doesn't play well every bloody week, people will be going, we could have had the money from Saudi. We're in a really difficult position. Kieran says £100 million doesn't replace him. I don't replace him, Kieran. I don't even try to. You're right, you can't replace Bruno Fernandes. I don't even try to. I don't even bother trying to do it. If Agate is going to be with Casemiro as the holder, I use a new signing and Mainu as the other side. I don't replace Bruno Fernandes. He's not even a pivot. He's not a pivot player anyway. And in the 10 positions, I have Cunha, I try for Cherki, I have Ahmad, I have Xerxes, I have Mount. I just don't replace Bruno. I can't replace him. It's a piss take. It's disrespectful. He's a brilliant player. He's been a great servant to this football club. I do not try to replace him. I buy players for the system. Does Bruno Fernandes suit Ruben Amorim's system, hand on heart? Does Bruno Fernandes suit Ruben Amorim's system, hand on heart? He's not a pivot player for me. He's not holding. He's not in the midfield 2. And is he quick enough for the number 10? Are you better off with people who fit the system than someone like Bruno Fernandes? That's a question some of you have been asking for a very long time. Also, I think this is the biggest thing of all. Are you willing to lose Ruben Amorim to sell Bruno Fernandes? Because if you aren't, don't sell Bruno Fernandes. Unless Ruben Amorim's on board. I need to know. I can give you my opinion. I think there's some great points coming in. I can give you my opinion. You can give me yours. But I'm telling you now, if Ruben Amorim is sat there saying, don't do this deal, we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't do it. Because if you're selling a player that the manager values, you're making the same mistake you did with Jose Mourinho. And it would be an absolute disgrace to do that. How can you bring a manager in out of Sporting, give him ultimatums of now or never, throw him into this mess, and then in his first summer transfer window sell his captain and best player he doesn't want to sell? You can't do that. You can't do that. What I'm hoping is that if we do this, it's because Ruben Amorim's looked at it like I've just said there and you're saying there and gone, you know what? He's a brilliant player, but if you give me that money, I'll get 3 or 4 players in and we'll rebuild this football club. It really comes down to Ruben Amorim now. This is what you get paid the money for. And if I'm Ruben Amorim, I'm sat there going, what a player, what a captain, what a leader. Do I remove that to bring 3 or 4 players in and build a team? And that for me is a flip of the coin. Because before Wednesday, I'd have said no. Today, I'm saying we may as well do it. We may as well do it. So that's sort of where I'm at with it. But Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.